Now, that is Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the developer of ChatGPT. Now, ever since I saw that video, I have been obsessed with this idea that one person could use AI to create a billion-dollar company. So I decided to give myself a challenge. How could this company hypothetically be built? Throughout this video, I'll be using two AI tools, ChatGPT and Deepseek AI, to figure out how this company could be built. So every great business starts with a solid idea. But what makes an idea scalable to $1 billion? And not only that, what makes it possible for that to be built with just one person? I'll be using ChatGPT and Deepseek AI to answer this question. Now, because I want the best answers, I'll actually be using the Pro plan. That's right. I'm actually going to be going all the way up to Pro because I want the best possible answers, the best possible data for ChatGPT. And for Deepseek AI, well, it is free. So now that we have the Pro plan, we're actually going to go and switch the model from 4.0, which is great for most questions, to 0.1 Pro mode, which is the best at reasoning. This is what we want. I said, give me 5 innovative business ideas that have the potential to scale to $1 billion company. This company can only be run by one person. Let's see what this gives us. So unlike the free plan or even the plus plan, which I've had previously, this is actually taking a lot more time. It's been about perhaps a minute now. I don't know if this is all for show. I don't know if I just wasted my money for nothing, but it seems to be taking more time. Whatever it has access to, it's doing something. Let's just give it this time to simmer and we're gonna see what it comes out with. We finally have our answers. So here we go. Business idea number 1. AI-powered personalization software as a service. It's a software that helps e-commerce brands and content creators for product suggestions or content recommendation. This is definitely something that I have a bit of experience with that I could potentially execute. Now let's go on to idea number 2. Number 2, decentralized finance, DeFi protocol. This is a self-executing suite of smart contracts that provides lending, borrowing, or automatic market maker services on a blockchain. This is something that I'm not familiar with. I'm not going to dive into something that I don't have experience with. So I'm going to skip this one. Number 3, global microtask marketplace. This is like building an AI-driven Uber for small jobs. This is not something that I have any experience with anyways. I'm not planning on doing this. I'm just going to skip this idea entirely. Idea number 4, no-code AI content creation suite. Basically be like creating an all-in-one platform for all your AI needs. Idea number 5, automated digital asset management and licensing platform. This talks about developing a marketplace for digital assets like stock photos, videos, and 3D models, music, whatever, that automatically handles uploads, licensing, and royalty payments to creators. I don't have too much experience with this. I'm not going to scrap it entirely, but I'm not going to execute it on it either. I'm going with idea number 1, AI-powered personalization software as a service. I'm going to analyze the market size, competition, and potential challenges for this business idea. Let's get into it. Let's start with point number 1, market size. The global e-commerce sales are set to exceed $7 trillion. That's trillion with a T, people, by 2025, according to Statista. When it comes to B2B content, B2B and content personalization, it notes here that not just retails, but it says that businesses, both B2C and B2B, are a lot more increasingly investing in AI-driven solutions to personalize ads, content feeds, things like that. The global personalization software market is estimated at around $2 to $3 billion in 2020, and is projected to reach $6 to $10 billion by 2025, 2026, depending on various sources. A lot of businesses are willing to pay for a subscription-based service such as this. Definitely be something that businesses are searching for. Now on to point number 2, which is competition. This is where it gets interesting, okay? Why is there so much sun? We've already have established personalization platforms that exist, one of which is called Dynamic Yield, which was acquired by MasterCard. You got the big tech players as well, Amazon Personalize, Google Cloud Recommendation AI, another major player. Considering all this, I'm a bit disappointed. When I first saw this list of all these different business ideas, I thought it was proposing something to me that was new, that wasn't already executed on by all these players. But then again, I'm going to persist. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to see how far I can go with this business plan, and maybe it could suggest to me a way that I can differentiate myself in the marketplace, so I can carve out a space for myself so that I could still. So let's go on to point number 3, which is potential challenges. So now we're on to the next step, which is business model and revenue streams. There's 5 business models that it gave me. Number 1, subscription-based, pretty easy. Usage-based, which is pay-as-you-go. Number 3, enterprise licensing and professional services. And number 4, freemium model with paid upgrades. Which means there's like a free tier with a paid upgrade. Our answer, the best model to use is the freemium model because it's good for quick user adoptions. A lot of people can get in because it's free, and a whole other list of reasons, which I'm not going to go into because it's way too long. Now we found our business model. Now we're going on to the next step, which is how can we make this idea from concept to launch? It's time to go into it. It's time to craft our marketing and growth strategy. How are we going to do this? This would be how I would go to market. Basically, quick and easy signups using the freemium model, and then progressively scale by offering it to a few users, then on a couple of marketplaces, and then reach out for the bigger clients. Now, this is all fine, but of course, no business comes without taking into consideration financial projections and funding. So let's get those numbers straight, see how we're going to get when it comes to financial projection and the funding of it. This is the part of the video where this is actually getting real and no longer into fantasy land. Let's look at what we have here. Here's the costs that we're looking at. Core platform development, 0 to 50K if you're a capable solo developer. So if you're capable of developing this by yourself, of course it's going to be $0, but it's going to be anywhere between 0 and 50K if you're outsourcing certain parts. Even though this is built with AI, you still have to require some developers. AI and machine learning infrastructure, it's there's low cost tiers provided by these guys, but when you're starting to service real customers, you might be looking at anywhere from $500 to $2,000 a month, as well as basic business expenses, 1 to 5K, and a whole ton of other operating costs. You're looking at month 1, you're still looking at $2,500 just to operate the business, because so it turns out that this sort of business requires a lot of operating costs because you need stuff such as cloud computing and hosting. Data storage management, you need a place to store all that data. And this doesn't even include marketing, advertising, which is separate. Just to run the business itself, even without the marketing costs, you're looking at a couple $1,000s, even in the initial phases. Obviously, I don't have to use my own money. We could have angel investors that put anything between $25,000 to $250,000. That seems to be the standard. Or seed capitals from venture capitalists such as $250,000 to $2 million. We've seen it on shows like Shark Tank, where you have investors that come up for a portion and they invest a portion so that you can scale it. In the tech entrepreneur space, seed funding and all these venture capitalists, that's pretty commonplace. There's almost no big business that hasn't started without some sort of angel investor. I think that's out of the ordinary. However, this does require money, a lot more than I thought. I thought that maybe with AI, you'll be able to do it everything, but you still need to pay for services to maintain all your business. Anyways, now we're on to the next step, which is execution plan and scaling. Once we launch, how do we scale to $1 billion company? So let's find that out. It gave me a list of 9 things to take into consideration. One of the key takeaways is that you need to build the official plugins for the e-commerce platforms, the big ones, obviously. And afterwards, doing strategic partnerships with the big players in the game. HubSpot, Marketo, Salesforce, things like that, so that you can have a partnership with those big guys so that they can each individually push your company and promote them. One of the things it talked about is hosting AI-focused podcasts, speaking at e-commerce and marketing technology conferences. It's very just scratching the surface. I mean, for every single one of these lines, and again, it gave me 9 different ideas, it's not really giving me something to say, hey, do this day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Because obviously it's just giving me a broad idea of what I could do. I mean, there's just so much to unpack here. I could technically just write a whole business plan for each and every single one of these items. Could this theoretically be done by one person? Absolutely, if you have the knowledge and expertise. So this is what ChatGPT has given us. Now let's dive into our second tool, which is the new kid on the block, Deepseek AI, and let's see what it gives us. At the end of this all, we're going to compare and see which one of the two has given us the best business idea and the best business plan. So I'm using the same prompts that I used for ChatGPT. This time I'm using it for Deepseek AI. I asked it to give me 5 innovative business ideas, just like the first time around, which were the AI-powered hyper-personalized learning platform. Again, the same one as for when I asked ChatGPT, which were the AI, except this time around they focused on a learning platform, whereas the other one was more of an e-commerce platform. They're both telling me the same thing, is that there's this need for an AI personalized SaaS. Number two, a creator, a content factory, which is basically a platform where people upload their raw content, whether it be videos or blogs, and it spits out monetizable assets such as ebooks, courses, TikTok clips. Number three, local market analytics platform. It's basically a tool that gathers real-time local data. It could predict trends for small businesses. Number four, no-code AI app builder for small businesses. A platform letting businesses drag and drop AI features such as chatbots into their websites without coding. Pretty interesting, pretty interesting. Number five, similar to what was named by ChatGPT, it's a decentralized talent ecosystem about a blockchain-based freelance platform that uses smart contracts for auto payments. Again, I don't know where they're getting their data from, if they're getting their data from business analysts that are predicting this, and maybe everyone's just making the same prediction, so the AI is making the same prediction, or is this really the AI having an original thought and predicting the future based on what we're currently using? Again, I don't know. I think maybe it's a mix of both, or is the one thing is for sure, both named as number one, an AI powered personalized software as a service. So I'm going to pick that one to build it out. When you look at the terms, it sounds very similar. AI powered personalized SaaS. These are actually two separate business ideas and very, very different. So in the first one, it was more of an e-commerce tool for e-commerce businesses that it could use to offer personalized choices to buyers. However, this business idea is a sort of online service that creates adapted AI generated learning paths for professionals, whether it be coders, marketers, or students, and it adjusts the content based on the performance and the goals of the person. So it's almost like having a tutor right in front of you, adjusting what you need to learn, how do you need to learn it based on how you're learning. And the difference is this, is that it's suggesting that I would partner with LinkedIn or Coursera for distribution. Obviously, these people have these channels have their own courses. I probably wouldn't be creating my courses. I'd probably just be a distributor, but the technology behind that is what my business would be about. And I would create the automation around how to feed these different courses to these different students based on their performance. So that is the difference. I just had to make that note before we continue. Now for market size, it says that the global educational technology market is valued at $250 billion in 2020, projected to grow to $404 billion by 2025. So it's a growing market. Personalized learning segment, fast growing niche. So, and then he gave me more stats about the market. So it's a growing market, big market, as we can see here. Next, we have competition. In terms of challenges, it named a couple. Technical complexity, because building such a model requires expertise in machine learning, and there's also the data privacy and compliance issue. And again, user competition and retention. There's free platforms out there, for example, YouTube tutorials. The way it recommends me to navigate through this business would be to focus with a high demand, underserved niche, and then doing partnerships, doing the freemium model, and then publishing case studies in order to promote this. Now it's time to find out what would be the most profitable business model for a business of this kind. So he gave me 9 options, and I'll list them to you right here. So there's the subscription-based tier pricing. This is something that we're very familiar with. There's also the freemium plus upsells, which is something that we've already seen. Business to business or enterprise licensing. There's also the pay-per-course or microtransactions, which basically means you pay as you go per course or for a couple segments. There's the certification and accreditation fees that we can also make money on. There's affiliate partnership. We can partner with job boards or recruiters or tools such as LinkedIn and GitHub. Number 7 would be data monetization. Number 8, white label solutions. And number 9, dynamic pricing via AI. Because we want to scale as quickly as possible, I asked it to tell me what would be the model that I should choose. Final recommendation that it gave me was to start with the freemium tier to build buzz and user data, and then finally to pivot to B2B sales within 6 to 12 months. This is a similar strategy that Zoom used during their massive growth, and it estimates that I could do the same thing to scale the operations rapidly. It's time to figure out the go-to-market strategy, the sales channels, and the customer acquisition tactics. Give me a week-by-week plan up until week 12 and beyond. And I first said to get some early adopters and to build a wait list by offering free products and free courses. Then eventually to use LinkedIn ads to build a wait list and to build more signups, to launch more free courses and a referral program. Then by week 7 to 8 to get 2 to 3 enterprise pilots testing out my platform. Then by week 9 to 12 to use more paid ads to expand my B2B operations. Now this is pretty broad, but it gave me some real life examples. Duolingo, which hit 500 million users by using freemium gamification, and Coursera, which hit 120 million in revenue by targeting enterprises. Now, I could probably do the same using a similar strategy, so that's what it suggested me to do. Let's find out what are the financial projections and the funding options for this type of business. Give me a bunch of numbers, but here's what you need to know. It would say that my first year's profit would be $500,000 loss. I wouldn't be making profit on the first year. My first year, I'd be losing $50,000, and then I would only be profitable from year 2, which is 300,000, and then 1.5 million. Revenue of this, I don't know why it's giving me this. I said I wanted to aim for $1 billion, so I don't know why it's so low. But then again, maybe it forgot that I originally asked it that. Another interesting thing to see, but this is basically how it would break down. Let's see, 60% of my revenue would come from B2B, freemium, and certifications. Now, another interesting thing is that it's saying that my estimated cost for platform development would be $20,000. It's a lot of money, and a total of $35,000 just for the upfront cost from 0 to 6 months. So this is why it's suggesting that and my ongoing maintenance costs, including hosting, API fees, marketing support, anywhere from $3,700 to $9,200. The best option, though, to help with the funding would be, again, to use angel investors or venture capitals. Again, the same strategy that was mentioned by ChatGPT. I'm not going to go over that. Now, the final step, I asked it for the keys to scaling this business to $1 billion valuation. It gave me 10 steps. First, to dominate my niche, and then to expand horizontally, meaning to other niches, and to grow my offering. So after I've created these 2 business plans using these 2 separate AI tools, I've made my decision for the business that I'll be deciding to execute. I've decided to go with option number 1, the AI-driven personalized software as a service for e-commerce. The reason for that is because for the second option, it would require me to not only build the platform, but also worry about content creation for the courses, and that's a whole other separate ballgame. Whereas option number 1 is more of a tool that I can use to include into Shopify, something that, even though it's complicated, I could definitely see myself pulling that off a lot more than option number 2. So with that being said, let's figure out how we can actually realistically build this using AI tools only. It's given me 7 strategies that I could potentially use to build this, and here's what it has come up with. I'm not going to go into every single step because that would be a separate video in and of itself, but this could probably be done 90% with AI tools, the rest having to be done by humans or manual labor, if I could say so. Building it and running it, of course, are 2 separate things, but building it, 90% of it would definitely be able to be done entirely out of AI. Now, it just gave me the steps. It's not only ChatGPT that we'll be using to create this if we were to create it. It has pointed me to several resources such as AWS, Amazon Web Services, Personalize, Google Cloud, Zapier, Make, Airtable, and a lot of other services. So this would require the integration of multiple other services, but all of which use AI. So that is a good thing. Now, that is where this video is going to end. I'm not going to go into how the rest is actually going to be built. This was sort of more of a challenge to see, hey, could I create the plan of a business? And if so, what would that look like? What would a business of this nature look like? Am I going to actually create this business? No, but this does give me a good idea of the future of what business will look like and how it could potentially be done with only one person. So this is some very exciting stuff. But here are my final thoughts. Now, to conclude this video, even though I won't be building out any of these businesses, I still managed to obtain a blueprint for how I could start, manage, and scale a business to $1 billion all by myself using only AI tools. And that's what makes it so exciting. Even though this video was an experiment, these business ideas and the demand for them are real and they can actually be executed today. However, my plans for using AI are a bit different, and in the next videos, I'll be sharing with you my AI projects and how I intend to use it. So if you like this video and want to see more AI content related to business, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, take care.